Greetings everyone, I am Dr. J, and this is a video that I never thought I would make. If you've seen any of my videos, you've likely heard me mention my love of Diablo-style games, as they're what really got me into the wider game industry, and when I want to sit back and relax, sometimes with a family member, they're a great time waster. The irony is that I never expected to play Diablo 3 because I knew that Blizzard would never compromise on the always-online DRM, which for me was a non-starter for a game that I would primarily play single-player. At the time it was released, my internet at home was utter garbage, to where I knew when my brother woke up when my ping in League of Legends went from 50 to 500. And even now when my internet is more stable, I have enough points of failure on my computer to where I didn't want to add my internet connection and Blizzard servers on top of that. However, due to circumstances that will be discussed at the end of this video, my family has found itself with an Xbox One, along with a number of games that happen to include Diablo 3. So naturally, having heard that it has vastly improved from its release, I decided to try it since A, I hadn't spent any money on it, so all I had to lose was a bit of spare time if I didn't like it, and B, my final complaint about the PC version is absent on the console version. So, hoping for something good, I started playing it, and at first it didn't really grab me. Perhaps it was the abilities I chose for the wizard or something to do with my playstyle, but at first I didn't think too much of it. However, the more I played it, the more it started to grow on me, to where I'm surprised at how much I like it now. I think part of the reason for holding back was also due to the fact that, based on what I played of the starter edition, it wasn't something that I personally would enjoy as much. Right now the Diablo-style game that I compare others to is Torchlight 2 because while it departed from the more serious and haunting look of its competitors, the change in art style and color palette allowed it to be far more bombastic and expressive with, well, everything. The classes, abilities, enemies, locales, pretty much everything is a lot more pleasing to the eye, while still being a solid game that is really fun to play on top of that. And honestly, if Path of Exile couldn't shake my love for Torchlight 2, Diablo 3 didn't stand a chance. But honestly, for what's on offer, I'm finding myself really liking it for a number of different reasons. Chief among them might be the setting, or at least the universe, which is a universe I really care about, and while I know what's going to happen in the story, watching it play itself out and seeing all of the intricate detail on the way has been really engaging. The gameplay may not be completely to my liking, but if there's one thing that Blizzard can pull off, it's that level of polish that might not always be spectacular, but can at least guarantee some level of quality. They can get away with charging a lot more than most for the service, but given their track record and fanbase, you can hardly blame them for it. Another part might be the fact that I'm playing on a console, which is a weird feeling given how I seldom play on consoles to begin with. Especially with how I play Diablo-style games, where I try to throw as much variety into how I kill things as possible, I wouldn't have expected the game to work as well as it does. There are some points where it's not well explained, such as walking over corpses to loot them, and some of the ability aiming makes it clear that this was designed for mouse and keyboard before controller, but apart from those hiccups, it's worked surprisingly well. Given that the abilities are simplified a little bit, I've never felt at a loss for buttons, and even something as simple as the menu design is set up really well. It's a little finicky at times, but that's a minor complaint since it means I don't have to sort through giant menus. Beyond the controls, there's enough power and weight to the abilities that there's still the visceral satisfaction of tearing through waves of demons, which is what really counts when it comes to this sort of game. I haven't spent much time outside of the wizard as I prefer spellcasting characters, but for what the wizard can do, there's still a fair number of interesting trade-offs. Instead of just having all of the abilities and mixing and matching from there, they've cordoned them off into categories where you can only have one of each, such as weak spammable abilities on one button, expensive AoE death on another, and some variant on a shield or familiar that remains intact so long as you don't get hit too often. The runes associated with them also seem to lend themselves nicely to that, as even within an ability, there's a fair amount that you can do with them. My only real issue with the abilities is that I wish I could customize them more, and that fact ties into the leveling experience. I know that this has likely been talked to death already, but I'm of two minds when it comes to what everyone referred to as skill respecs. On one hand, allowing you to change your abilities on the fly is a lot more newcomer friendly, especially since when you're first started out, you're not going to know what the most effective build is. That's something I've run into with every Diablo-style game I've played at one point or another, where my build ended up not working out and the game turned into a brutal crawl rather than a fair fight. On the other hand, having that ability takes away some of the investment in a single character, especially since it doesn't seem like I have any control over character stats outside of the items I find and when my characters eventually reach Paragon level. Because of that, it's no longer about a character I cultivate where I focus on doing something interesting, powerful, or just flat out cheesy, but instead on mixing and matching in the moment to find something that works. Even that isn't necessarily bad either, but it means the experimenting that my father and I would enjoy in other Diablo-style games, going to different extremes within the same class, really doesn't exist in this game, and I'm worried that it'll needlessly hurt the game's replayability. For now though, it has been a decent amount of fun, and that's only been added to since I've been able to do some couch co-op with my brother. I used it as an opportunity to gather more footage and to test out how well a number of other things work, and thus far it seems like adding my brother in brought the difficulty that I've been wanting to face with my wizard. Maybe it's because the two of us can be a little too bullheaded for our own good, but since the game adds more and tougher minions to compensate for both of us being there, it definitely made an impact when we ran into a swarm or two of powerful monsters. Either way, the couch co-op works surprisingly well, as while there are definite limitations on where you can go, especially since it doesn't do split screen, there's still enough information available to where we were able to do just fine. Well, for the most part anyway. I might want to have my brother take a look at his build, or reevaluate the build on my Demon Hunter, because dying within the first 2 hours doesn't seem like a good thing, but even then I can't complain too much when we're having fun with it, even if we can be a bit childish in each other's presence. That's all I have to say on the game, and I'm hoping that it'll continue to be enjoyable as I delve further into it. Although, there is a degree to which I'm conflicted on the game, and it has nothing to do with the game itself, but rather the circumstances that my family received the Xbox One under. I'm fortunate in that I'm not the first gamer in my family, and while I haven't gotten to talk much about the medium with them, since the topic usually turns to something the family as a whole can discuss, it's been a nice little side benefit. And, unfortunately, one of those uncles lost his fight with brain cancer a few weeks ago, and of those of us who were gamers, my immediate family were the only ones without an Xbox. So, yeah, that throws all sorts of unconscious emotional wrenches into my ability to analyze and critique the game, as much as I'd like to say otherwise. On one hand, I feel kind of guilty for taking it, as it doesn't really feel like mine because it wasn't mine at first. On the other hand, this was an uncle who was known for being an oddball, someone who made it his mission to make everyone around him smile and laugh, and he'd want to know that what he left behind would carry that on to some degree. To honor that, I present to you this video and the video I have planned for next week. I was considering doing something sappy or moving, and for another time I may do so, but for now, he'd want me to carry that on, to make people laugh. After all, I've got a lot of footage from my abandoned second channel, and if I can make someone laugh at the expense of my dignity, why the hell not? For now though, thanks for watching this video to the end. Please like and share this if you find it deserving, and subscribe to this channel for more video game critique, as well as other content posted on a weekly basis. Emphasis on the other content for next week, but to give you a taste of what I've got planned, here's me and my brother being horribly childish in our first 2 hours of Diablo 3. Enjoy. Didn't mean to come in here so soon. Oh look, a boss! Let's kill it. Oh, sorry. I pressed A. Whack! Whack! Wonk! Wonk! I take it you're having fun.
Yeah?
I need more hatred.
Wonk! 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 I don't even know what to say to that. Apart from the fact that I am trapped and taking hits.
Bonk! Bonk! Bonk!
Here, let me bring these guys over so you can bonk them too. And now this creep's interested in me.
Bonk! 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 Bonk!
I know what your spammable's going to be.
Bonk! Bonk! Bonk!
Are you just gonna do this the whole time?
Unless we find another cheesy spell. I don't think so.
Okay, you can stop spamming A.
Now, what else is in here?
Something that requires us to stop spamming A for 5 seconds in order to get to.
Bonk! 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 Hey, get back
Am
here!
I just gonna create a single video where it's nothing but you going bonk?
That would be hilarious.
That would be horrifying. There, here's your bonking targets. If Dalton would leave me alone.
Bonk! 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 Bonk!
Uh-oh.
Bonk!
Get ready to move, that'll stun you. I told you.
Darn you. Bonk! You went flying!
Bonked out of existence. Jeez.
Here's
What are
the
you
key
doing?
and my mother's journal.
Let's see what lies within. I should not be leading this party.
Yeah, you should let me do it so I can do this! Bonk! 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 Bonk!
I can't even be mad. I just can't.
TRISTRAM Cathedral, the fallen star line
I really should be because it's childish, but at the same time, this is a Diablo-style game. It's all about smashing things with smashing, so I can't be mad. Usually when I'm making item comparisons, I'll look for...
I have an idea.
Oh, I found friends. It let you do that?
Yeah!
Still recharging.
Wait, what?
What the heck was that? Again. I'm not sure what caused that.
Bonk! 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 Maybe it's the Y button?
No, the Y button is another skill. I should actually fire at the stuff further back so that... Hey, get back!
Got
You got
some.
2 of them. That's good. Good thinking, actually.
Bonk!
So is this just gonna be the way of the bonk now? Is that where we're going with this? The way of the whack? The power of the punch? Oh yeah, knocking down those acts as a trap too.
Yeah.
It's a tarp!
This will be interesting.
Still recharging.
Here, let me drag this guy towards you. I'm gonna have to select Cormac so I've got another person to taunt for me. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna do my wizarding stuff, apparently. This is what I do when I'm playing wizard, I just spam an ability non-stop.
Bonk! 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 Bonk!
Knockback.
I love this gap closer.
I like this thing.
Huh?
I like this thing. On? No? Die, barrels! Okay, that's more like it. Whee! You cheeky little! I ain't even mad.